The purpose of the short video is to provide evaluators and potential users with basic information about the utility of the Just Culture assessment tool and showcase its functionality. JCAT is available through an annual renewable license. The targeted end users are directors and managers in an organization, people in frontline leadership roles with managerial responsibilities. These individuals are generally charged with producing outcomes that rely upon systems, defined work processes, and the efforts and choices of their employees. Human resources, patient safety, risk management professionals, and individuals who participate in peer review activities also benefit from JCAT. Just Culture Assessment Tool is an interactive desktop application that uses the results of an event or threshold investigation and the breaches revealed as a result of it to surface underlying actionable root causation. End users are able to document recommended actions that improve the system and or the performance of employees in a uniform printable document. Data entered into JCAT remains on the desktop of each licensee. No master file or aggregated database is created. Let's take a look at the application. Launching the Just Culture Assessment tool, you are provided with a few options. Naming and saving a new record, begin without saving, a quick start PDF, and a quick start video. There are two comprehensive styles of training available directly within the Just Culture Assessment tool. Just Culture for Managers Training, with multiple chapters to teach every manager competency in the Just Culture algorithm and Just Culture principles.
Along the way, to accomplish our mission, you may find organizational values are in conflict with.
In this example, we are working with a previously created record about an employee driving a company vehicle. The manager has spotted the employee driving while eating a bowl of cereal. Let's stop and take a look at the interface that's going to guide you along the way of the Just Culture Assessment tool. At this state, we are in the record details. We have already filled out the employee information, and now we are putting in the event details such as title, location, start date, event begin time, end date, and event end time. You also have the steps of threshold investigation, breach, assessment, and action, which will give you a visual update as we move along the process of a complete assessment. Here we have the threshold investigation. These are the 5 primary threshold investigation questions to be answered by the manager making the assessment of the employee and the event. Take note of the panel to the right. This is a dedicated help, just-in-time training for leadership and managers going through an assessment around an employee event, where the fields will constantly update according to the threshold investigation questions, the breach and assessment questions, and final action panel. This is to ensure competency in the Just Culture algorithm and best case practices in Just Culture. In this example, we see the question of what happened, its definition, its example, and explanation. As with every step we'll see throughout the Just Culture Assessment tool, a just-in-time video by David Marks.
What happened? In this step of the investigation, you're just going to describe what happened. Whether it was a nurse who gave a patient the wrong medication or a forklift driver who drove the forklift into the wall. You're going to investigate what happened, including some of the basic background facts that tell us what made today different than other days.
Let's continue. What happened? What normally happens? What does procedure require if applicable? Why did it happen? And how is the organization managing the risk? The manager or leadership has opportunity to fill out the details to every question according to their needs. Now let's continue to select the duty to assess. Here we have the opportunity to select the breach of duty we are going to assess. In this example, the duty to avoid causing unjustifiable risk or harm. We will enter the details of the breach, conduct, what value was encroached, what was the potential or actual harm. Again, take note of the just-in-time training available along the entire process. Let's continue to assess the breach of duty. The breach of duty details are carried on to the next window, and the following steps is the first question within the Just Culture algorithm of this breach of a duty to avoid causing unjustifiable risk or harm. Was it the employee's purpose to cause harm? No. Did the employee knowingly cause harm? No. Did the behavior represent a substantial and unjustifiable risk? Yes. Did the employee consciously disregard the substantial and unjustifiable risk? No. Should the employee have known they were taking a substantial and unjustifiable risk? Yes. Did the employee choose this behavior? Yes. Now the leadership or management is presented with the recommended actions according to the Just Culture algorithm for this determined behavior and breach of duty. This breach of duty has shown us that the duty to avoid causing unjustifiable risk or harm was an at-risk behavior by the employee. The recommended actions within the system and with the employee are provided according to the algorithm. 2 fields for the manager to occupy details of system action details or employee action details. Again, we have the visual representation of a completed algorithm section below. Take note as well of the left panel showing that the threshold investigation has been completed. A breach has been completed for the duty to avoid causing unjustifiable risk or harm, as the determination of an at-risk behavior has been the breach. The actions. As every event may have more than one duty that needs to be assessed, that will represent here as well. You could have multiple duties assessed within one single event. So in brief summary, JCAT is both a practical tool to evaluate breaches of duties, evaluate the systems and behaviors that contributed to an outcome. This is also a platform that is suitable for training and developing competency. JCAT is designed to help managers achieve 3 key objectives. First, individual managers gain competency using the Just Culture algorithm. This is achieved through practice, using simulated scenarios and just-in-time video training embedded in the application. Second, managers are able to evaluate close calls, threats, and actual events in a standard fashion that is consistent with the principles of Just Culture. Finally, managers produce printable individual records suitable for entry into personnel files. The findings of each threshold investigation contribute to action planning that addresses both employee performance and system design. Thank you for taking a moment to consider what Outcome Engenuity's JCAT, Just Culture Assessment Tool, can do for you and your organizational performance.